Hey, what's up guys, Rep here. So once again, we're going to be talking about Palworld because people are still coping and seething about this game. Now, over the past couple of days, gaming journalists, Western game developers, Twitter users, and alike have converged onto Palworld because they are mad about its success. In an attempt to smear this success, these people have tried to make wild accusations against Palworld and its developers, and this post really sums up the timeline of events when it comes to these accusations. First, it was claims that the game was using AI, which of course was only supported by flimsy and irrelevant evidence that the CEO made a comment about a BuzzFeed employee using AI to make Pokemon designs. So when that failed, they moved on to claiming that Palworld was stealing Pokemon models. As it turns out, the person who was behind the thread making that claim later admitted that they fabricated the evidence and that they did this because they believe Palworld is glorifying violence against animals. Then when that failed, people started claiming that the game uses NFTs, another wild and baseless claim, and the only thing people could cite was the fact that the CEO trades crypto. There has been an immense level of hatred for Palworld and its success, and people like that have been trying to get Nintendo to take action against Palworld. They want Nintendo to do something because they can't handle the fact that this game continues to sell millions of copies. Well, they got their wish. Nintendo has finally addressed Palworld in probably the most cowardly of ways. But before we look into that, I want to share some good news with you guys. This marks 2 years since my VTuber debut. This week is a special week. And to celebrate that, our friends over at Uwu Market have released this signed poster that you guys can purchase. This is a very clean, beautiful design. It's something we haven't done before, where if you buy this over the next 2 weeks, I will sign every single poster made during that period. That is something I haven't done before. You get the old John Hancock, the official Rev signature on the poster. Now, the art's very clean as always with Uwu Market, but also you might have noticed this egg. If this doesn't make sense to you, it's a inside joke over at my Twitch community, which conveniently is a great time to check out because this weekend I'm going to be doing a 3-day subathon to celebrate my 2-year anniversary as a VTuber. We're going to do all kinds of things. We're going to play Azure Lane for the first time. We're going to have some community events and games that you guys can be a part of. I'll be reacting to some videos. There'll be tons of giveaways. We're going to have sub goals with great community incentives and a huge surprise that's going to launch tomorrow that you don't want to miss out on. And that stream will be starting on Friday at 4 p.m. EST. So you don't want to miss this out. Make sure to follow my Twitch account in the pinned comment and check out the Uwu Market poster in the pinned comment as well. Now back to the content for today's video. So Pokemon has finally made a statement about Palworld. So does the statement have any sort of teeth? Well, let's read the entire statement. It says this, made by the Pokemon Company. We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January of 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to the Pokemon. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon and its world and work to bring the world together through Pokemon in the future. Now, this started off with a wild statement. They didn't even name Palworld. It's like Voldemort to these people. You know, it's not like this is some small indie company that's not worth the time of Pokemon. You know, maybe it's like sold 10,000 copies and it's biting at the ankles of Pokemon. This game, Palworld, is dunking on Pokemon. They are making a mockery of them with the level of sales. They have crossed over 8 million copies sold in only 6 days. This is someone you need to name directly. We all know who you're talking about, and to say just some game that released in January is awfully disrespectful and insecure about this situation. But overall, what does this statement mean? Well, I think it's just a bluff. They're trying to scare Palworld because it doesn't seem like they would take any action at this point, because if they haven't already, it's unlikely they will in the future. At this point, it has been a while. It's not just that the game has been released for about a week now. The trailer released over 2 years ago. So they would have taken action at some point if they had a legitimate claim. And now if they try to, it's obvious it's only because of the success that Palworld has been having. But I think further proof that they're not going to take action is reflected by this right here. So a lot of the popular Pokemon-related mods that have been introduced to Palworld have been taken down by Nintendo. We've even seen videos like this one from Asmongold get taken down by Nintendo because it shared one of these Pokemon mods. Again, if they're able to take down popular mods as well as a video from someone like Asmongold, that tells me that they'll take action where they can, and the fact that Palworld, this huge competitor, has not been touched by Nintendo and its lawyers yet, says that they might not have a leg to stand on in this case. And we've seen that from lawyers who have commented on the situation. We covered this in other videos. They said that they would have an amazingly hard time making any sort of a copyright claim against Palworld because of the identity of the game. Yes, they have this similar Pokemon vibe with the Pals, but the identity of the game itself is very different. It is Pokemon with guns for a reason. People identify this game with violent themes. That is something that is not shared with Pokemon games. And you can see from the developers, they're pretty confident in their claims. They're obviously nervous dealing with someone like Pokemon, but they have outright stated since the release that they are not faced with any legal issues as of right now. And going further, they stress once again, like a lot of the lawyers point out, that their game is something different than Pokemon in terms of its identity, and that they take their games very seriously and have absolutely no intention of infringing upon the intellectual property of other companies. And they go on to say that Palworld was created from the premise of combining an open world survival game with a monster collecting / raising game. And while the developers of Palworld did not reference Pokemon as a great predecessor, they created something that Mizobe, the developer, describes as feeling completely different. He even mentions that in regards to the game mechanics, Palworld is a lot more similar to the action-adventure survival game Ark Survival Evolved. Now, it seems like the more we look into the developers of Palworld, the better and better they look. They are deserving of a lot of respect right now. There's some crazy stories coming out about their story and how this game was developed. So right here you see this headline: Palworld struggled to find a developer with shooter experience in Japan before stumbling on a self-taught hobbyist who worked at a convenience store. I wanted someone working on Palworld to be obsessed with guns. I'm so glad that I met him. So let's see the details of this. We wanted someone experienced in FPS / TPS game production. If we couldn't find someone in Japan, we'd have no choice but to hire someone from abroad. But none of us are fluent in English, which would make things tough. A miracle occurred. While browsing Twitter, Mizobe stumbled upon an anonymous account filled with gun reloading animations. After exchanging messages, it was revealed that the mystery artist was a 20-year-old part-time convenience store employee of Hokkaido with a middle school diploma and 0 industry experience. The artist had taught himself how to animate entirely by watching YouTube videos. And at that point, they would offer him a full-time position as well as housing in Tokyo to start working on Palworld. And as they said, it might have seemed like a scam to this person, but they took it at the moment, and it was a great decision for both parties. An amazing decision to give someone like that a chance to work on their game who had no experience and self-taught. And going further, we have learned that allegedly, Palworld started with a budget of only $10,000. It just goes to show that this is a self-made success. That is something that should be celebrated, not taken down a peg by Twitter users trying to slander and basically chop all of the success of this game to things like plagiarism and other things that have not been proven. And we should be celebrating a game with a low budget, with inexperienced people, self-taught people reaching immense levels of success while offering a affordable $27 game that is only roughly half the cost of your standard title nowadays. And when asked about their creative vision, this is what the developer said. What's your creative vision? I don't have a creative vision. I just want to make a game that people like. We've seen gaming journalists look at stuff like this and basically say it's a sellout game. No, it is not selling out to make a game that gamers actually want to buy because it has enjoyable features and is affordable. Now, there's also another screenshot going around. I cannot confirm that this is the words of the developers. This could be edited. We don't know for sure, but this has made the rounds on social media and YouTube and alike. And it basically says right here, when referring to different aspects of the game, the developer allegedly says, the decision to make Pokemon with guns was because they were worried the game would not be a global success unless they added guns to it because Americans like to shoot things. And then they go further saying, the gender-neutral Type A character creator was likewise because Americans sometimes want to make very ugly characters. Based if true, they hit the nail on the head. But again, you can't confirm this, but a lot of people have been celebrating this post and having a good laugh about it. But going forward, there's more and more proof that the developers of Palworld have been taking things in stride. Obviously, this has been a very overwhelming experience, even in a positive way, just an enormous level of involvement with their franchise, breaking all kinds of Steam records for concurrent players, crashing the servers because they have over 2 million people playing at the same time. It's crazy stuff. But in that, they've also received a lot of things like death threats, and against themselves personally as developers, and against the company with outlandish claims and slander made against them and their product. And again, they've dealt with this in stride, addressed it, and been professional about it, and just kept moving forward. That's the most important thing, is to keep moving forward and making more content, because they are on a huge wave of success, and they have now reached over 8 million copies sold in less than 6 days, ladies and gentlemen. That is a absurd number. And keeping on that theme of pushing forward and giving players what they want, they released this entire future of Palworld path, their roadmap to the future, addressing many different planned future updates like PvP, raid bosses, arena, all kinds of things. And these are exactly the type of things that players are currently asking for. They are listening to their community, and they're doing a great job of trying to integrate what people want into the future of this game. There's a lot of things to celebrate about Palworld, the history of its developers, the creation of the game, and the response to the success. There's a lot of great things, and yeah, Palworld's really just proving a lot of people wrong in terms of what makes a game successful and whatnot, and it makes a lot of people mad, and you know what? Too bad. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.